Guys, Willie here with W.T.F car reviews, and today we're going to be reviewing the all-new 2024 Subaru Ascent Touring.
And a big thanks to Mike at Subaru of Port Richey for helping make this review possible. I'll leave a link to our inventory below, and if you're looking for a new car or SUV in the Port Richey area, I would definitely recommend checking these guys out and ask for Mike.
And for those of you guys who don't know, the Ascent has been Subaru's midsize three-row SUV since 2019. Facelifted last year for 2023, featuring a new front end and a standard 11.6-inch touchscreen with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. For 2024, the Ascent is available in 4 trims ranging from the $34,000 base all the way up to the $48,000 Touring that we have here. What else do we get for that money? Let's jump right in. So up front, you notice your LED daytime running lights surrounding your LED projector headlamps, LED fog lights down below too. We get some subtle chrome trim for the Touring model, black headlight housing, and a black grille insert for the top and bottom portion with more of that subtle chrome trim. Forward-facing camera underneath the Subaru badge as well, and an inward bulge for the center of the hood. The headlamps also say Subaru on them. They're not actually flickering in real life. The wheel and tire setup, you get these black and silver contrasted 20-inch rims, 5-spoke with a pretty nice flare design, 5-lug pattern too, wrapped in Falcon Zeek's all-season tires. I'm not sure if you guys have ever seen the Steve Rizzo joke about his Brooklyn roommate or professor talking about the Falcon Islands in class, but I'll definitely recommend checking it out. These Falcon tires kind of remind me of it. Anyway, wrapped in 245/50 R20, those are the dimensions. Very clean look, not too low of a profile to compromise the ride quality, but with the 50 series sidewall, definitely a nice looking fitment. Get a little bit of flat black trim surrounding the wheel well area, continuing for the rocker panel side skirt area with more subtle chrome trim. Black mirror cap with an LED turn signal on it, and we get a camera underneath helping us out with the 360. The glass fills up the entire frame. It's a heated glass with blind spot monitoring on the inside, all chrome trim for the window trim, and black roof rails up top with a massive panoramic moonroof up top as well. We get smart access for the driver and a front passenger. There is absolutely no chance you guys are going to be able to pick up anything on this window sticker, but hopefully you can pick up at least a little bit. Pause, take a look. You can see everything available on this 2024 Subaru Ascent Touring RCN. Not quite sure what the RCN stands for. Fuel economy 21 combined, 19 city, 25 on the highway. Of course, standard all-wheel drive. Pause, take a look at all the rest of the standard equipment. Options, not a whole lot. $354 for the wireless phone charger, $141 for the all-weather floor liners, and $107 for the cargo tray. The $48,495 base price, $1,295 for the destination and handling charge, totals us out a tick over $50,000. Hopefully you can pick up at least some of that on camera. I apologize, guys. Anyway, though, we'll recenter the screen. Out rear, we get the same rear wheel and tire setup. The only difference is a slightly smaller brake caliper and this beautiful green metallic paint. Hopefully you guys can pick it up on camera as soon as the camera decides to center itself. Anyway, continuing out rear, we get LED taillights for the brake light function, but the turn signal and reverse light, as you guys can see, just the halogen. Chrome Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive badge in the corner, Ascent Touring badge in the opposite corner, more chrome trim connecting the taillights together, and shout out Subaru of Port Richey for helping make this review possible. The tow hitch is hidden behind this plastic trim. I'll leave a link right here to show you exactly what this SUV can tow. Rear parking sensing, dual exhaust tips, and speaking of the dual exhaust tips, let's fire up this 2.4 liter Boxer turbo 4-cylinder and hear how she sounds. Alright guys, that was the sound of the 2.4 liter Boxer turbo 4-cylinder sold by Subaru for the 2024 Ascent. And it sounds okay, making a decent amount of power at 260 horsepower, 277 pound-feet of torque. Doesn't sound like a ridiculous amount of power, but made it to the CVT transmission and standard all-wheel drive. You can expect this 4,600 pound mid-size 3-row SUV to get to 60 in under 7 seconds. So definitely a powerful enough power plant. You see your top mounted intercooler too, aluminum stick connecting the 2 strut tower braces, and this motor sits really low in this engine bay, which should help the handling tremendously. We can shut this hood right down, take a step back, walk around this 2024 Ascent one more time, and take a step inside and see what we get with a top touring trim. Again, smart access for the driver and a front passenger. Up top, you get soft touch. The middle portion is perforated leather, stitched leather surrounding the window controls, and a gushy soft leather armrest. Down below, decent amount of storage. You'll stack 2 or 3 footlongs on top of each other, and you can probably fit 3 12-ounce bottles if that's what you choose to do. Harman Kardon sound system, subtle Subaru nameplate. As we take a step inside, the seats are super comfortable and luxurious. Leather seats, heated and ventilated with perforation in the center. Fully adjustable, 4-way lumbar control. You can recline, drop, lift, and slide the seats with adjustable thigh support as well. Taking a step inside, we can really check it out. Foot on the brake, engine start stop, and everything fires right to life. First thing we notice, this interior is pretty typical Subaru. I've seen a very similar look out all throughout the more higher trims of their lineup, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like starting with the steering wheel, it is pretty thick. The 10 and 2 is very solid. 9 and 3 fits perfect in your hand. I'll turn this air down by 1 so it's not screaming at you guys. But on the left side of the steering wheel, we have our volume and skip controls, AM, FM, Sirius. You can hang up and answer your phone calls, and the voice commands right next to it. The volume right underneath. This is not the volume, I apologize. This is the adjustment for this infotainment cluster. Right now we're looking at the songs currently playing, clock and temperature, digital speedo beneath it, average fuel economy, current fuel economy with range, and tire pressure monitoring. You gotta be driving to see that information, a compass, navigation, and right back to where we started. Beneath that, you see the total mileage on the vehicle too, with the current mileage of the trip right beneath. On the left side, the tach goes to about 6,000 RPM with the coolant temperature beneath that, and the speedo goes to 160 with the fuel gauge to the left of it. We have paddle shifters too, controlling this line-driven 8-speed CVT transmission, a heated steering wheel, radar cruise control with all of its adjustments, and active steering. Awesome. The stocks have a satisfying click, auto headlamps, we get fog lights too, auto high beams, and auto rain sensing wipers, all appreciated features for a top trim. We get more leather stitching for this dashboard area with a little bit of storage in front of it. The steering wheel is a tilt and telescope, but it's not power. I kind of wish it was a power tilt and telescope for a top trim. Trip reset, interior brightness, you can adjust the lights and open up the trunk. Beneath that, we have our fuse box, and hopefully get a good look at the pedals. The dashboard is all soft touch materials to be expected. Harman Kardon speakers on the dashboard too. 11.6-inch touchscreen, which now is standard for all 2024 Subaru Ascents. Hazards in the top left corner. The map has a really satisfying response to it. It's not perfect, but definitely good enough, and the resolution is very high. Beneath that, we have our adjustments for the vent control and heated and ventilated seats. I kind of wish we had hard buttons for it, but with the automatic climate control, all you really have to do is adjust these buttons, which are hard buttons, and let the computer do the rest for you. I personally just don't like using automatic climate control, so it's a little bit of an annoyance having to press the touchscreen. But you get used to it after about a week. I'm sure you memorize where everything is. Engine start stop. You press this forward facing camera button and you get a 360, and it moves forward. You can also press this button and it moves side to side whenever you would like. Not quite sure why you would need this feature. I guess for off-roading or parking in tight parking spots, it can be pretty useful. You can also adjust between snow, dirt, and deep snow and mud mode, all up top over here with your X mode settings. We're not going to adjust that throughout this test drive because we're going to be staying on the pavement. But anyway, it's still really nice to be able to do that with an all-wheel drive, off-road-ish capable SUV. Continuing along, we press this button and it returns us to our map. The gear selector controls our 8-speed line-driven CVT transmission. Some wood trim all throughout the center stack. We have more wood trim around the door handle if I didn't mention. We can check out this home screen on the touchscreen. You get a map, radio, media, phone, apps, my Subaru settings, and the car info. Hopefully you guys can pick it all up on camera as far as car info. It shows you your driving statistics, pitch and roll, and maintenance information. You see the engine oil, manual, oil filter, tires, maintenance schedule, all of that. Pretty cool to see at all times. My personal favorite would be the map. Before we check that out, let's just see what other apps we get. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, TravelLink, and My Subaru. Returning to the map, continuing along, we get an electronic parking brake, 2 cup holders. I'd expect you to fit 24-ounce bottles, and you get some interior illumination as well. The center console armrest is gushy soft leather. We can check out the storage space. It is solid. You get this second tier, perfect for coins and business cards, with a massive, deep center console lined belt. You're fitting 4 or 5 2-liter bottles of soda in there. Big thumbs up to Subaru for their center console space. We don't get a 2-tier glove box, but it kind of functions as one. With this little cubby in there, you'll fit gloves, socks, maybe a pair of shoes if you're wearing like boat shoes. The actual glove box is also lined in felt. You'll fit 20-ish license plates in there. Nice premium touch. We get a frameless auto-dimming rear view mirror, which also is digital. Awesome. 3 garage home link settings and the adjustments for the digital rear view mirror. We get LED interior light. It may not be LED, I can't really tell, but either way it does the job. You can open up the shade and you can tilt the roof with these 2 buttons. You gotta press and hold for like about a second for it to do it automatically, but it does so pretty quickly. We can open up the glass right behind it. You gotta press and hold this opposite button. The glass goes on top of the second panel, so it does stick out a little bit, but not too much. We can see if it goes out any further. It does. So well out into the second row. Massive opening. Subaru's moonroof, some of the largest openings in the business. We can poke our way at here. Beautiful day today in Port Richey, sunny and 83 degrees according to this 2024 Ascent. We can shut this roof right up, leave the shade open so when we hop out back, you guys can see how much light is brought into the cabin. But that's about it for the front seat of this super premium 2024 Subaru Ascent Touring. We'll hop out back, see how much space is offered back here, as well as the overall quality of the material. So we get soft touch up top, sunshade, more wood trim around this aluminum door handle area, cup holder. We don't get auto one-touch windows out rear, but they still do the job. You get the perforated leather for the center, nice soft leather stitched armrest. Pretty decent storage down below too. You'll fit 3 24-ounce bottles in there, maybe squeeze a couple footlongs. Additional Harman Kardon speaker. The rear seats are captain's chairs with pretty solid bolstering, still perforated in the center, heated rear seats, and they're reclinable with the slide function as well. As far as usable space, I'm a little bit over 6 feet tall, sitting behind my seat settings, and I still have at least 5-6 inches of overall knee room, headroom. I got about an inch, maybe 2. Mat pockets behind both of the front seats. Third zone climate control out rear. And we not only get air vents for the back seat passengers, we also get air vents for the third row passengers. We'll check out in 1 second. We get an AC outlet back here too, USB-A and C port with some storage. With 2 cup holders, you'll fit a big gulp in there. I like how it gives you this little adjustment for the actual size of it. We can shut this thing right up. We get armrests here too. Nothing in the middle, so you can put a dog bed and the dog can sleep in the center if that's what you prefer. With very solid bolstering. Hopefully you can pick them up on camera. The interior lights back here, again, they may not be LED because they weren't up front, but they definitely still do the job with the air vent right behind it. Hook for both of the back seat grab handles, and a ton of light brought into the cabin with this massive panoramic moonroof. Let's hop out into the third row, see how much space is offered back there, and then take this 2024 Ascent out for a drive. So hopping out into the third row, again, I'm a little bit over 6 feet tall, and this is the farthest back seat setting for the third row. My knees are starting to touch a little bit, but really not that bad. My head is also starting to touch, but if you're under 6 feet tall, you will not have any problems back here. I've read that a lot of people complain about the third row space, but honestly, compared to like an Acura MDX, Ford Explorer, this is just as spacious as the competition. Additional speaker, 2 cup holders, nice little storage spot for some candy bars or coins. Hooks, that's good for the cargo if the third row seat is down. And we get a subwoofer back here. Hopefully you can pick it up on camera. It says Harman Kardon. More charge ports, USB-A and C ports with more storage. We don't get that on this side of the third row. Air vents, as we mentioned, with interior lights, not LED, but very well may be. We can hop out of here. I like how the seat slides forward super easily. So no, not the most space for the mid-size 3-row SUV, but compared to the competition, Acura MDX, Ford Explorer, even like a Volvo XC90, this is just as spacious, if not more. So out rear, underneath the Subaru badge, is a button for the electrically opening liftgate. And as you see, with the third row up, we don't get the most cargo space. We get a little bit of secret storage. Hopefully I could show it to you guys on camera, about 2 or 3 cubic feet. So if you plan on keeping the third row seats up permanently, I would also recommend removing that tray and just getting a little bit more overall cargo space. Unfortunately, the third row headrest has to be unlatched manually, but to drop the seat right back down, we can do exactly that. Push these floor liners out of the way, so hopefully you guys can get a good idea of the cargo space. It is large, definitely competitive with most of the 3-row SUV segment. You fold the second row seats down, and I'd expect you to fit a 70-75 inch TV back here because the wheel wells really do not protrude. We showed you guys the secret storage, just quite a bit of it. More lights for the cargo space. Hopefully you can pick it up on camera, and this one actually looks like it's LED. 12 volt too, so if you have an electrically cooled cooler, you can plug it in and all your food will be super cold even after a long trip. To shut this lift gate up, there's two buttons. This button shuts it up, this button shuts it up and locks the vehicle. But we can press this button over here. Gives you half a second to a second to get out of the way so you don't get duped in the head if you're carrying groceries. But that's about it for the 2024 Subaru Ascent Touring. It is a beautiful luxury three-row SUV, especially for the sub $50,000 price point. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think, but for the price point, you get a lot for the money. Performance-wise, let's take this 2024 Subaru Ascent Touring out for a drive and see what it's got. All right, guys, now we're just about seeing everything we need to see with the inside and outside of the 2024 Subaru Ascent Touring. Let's take it out for a drive and see what it's got. My first impressions, though, after coming out of the Forester Wilderness, the steering here is a lot lighter. All right, taking a step out here, about third throttle, good torque. And you can feel the line-driven shifts with this CVT transmission, making it feel a little bit more like a conventional automatic. And at higher speeds, you don't really hear any wind noise or road noise. We have dual pane windows here. We can't check them out because of the window tints, but you can take my word for it. And with these Falcon tires, the road noise is super well limited. This feels like a serious top-notch luxury SUV. We'll check out the power at some point, see if it feels like a sub 7 second 0 to 60 car, but as far as isolation from the road, it is solid. Over some bumps, check out the ride quality. Soft, great isolation from the road. All right, guys, looks like a good opportunity to try an acceleration off the line. We're not going to brake torque it or anything, just on the gas. Boost, takes about half a second to a second. Yeah, it picks up towards around 3,000 RPM really well. It's not going to blow you away when it comes to acceleration, but I can see 0 to 60 happening around 7 seconds. Maybe a little bit quicker if you brake torque it, but as we said, we're not going to brake torque a brand new car. It still feels very powerful, and it's a very smooth power delivery. All right, guys, taking a step out here, we can try out these paddle shifters. Starting off in first, shifting second. Pretty responsive. Try a little pull. Pretty responsive shifts too. They're not real shifts, just simulations with the CVT, but it feels solid. You look down and you're definitely going quicker than you think you are. And at the higher speeds, it still stays super quiet. With this Harman Kardon sound system, it's a great combination. You'll have great crisp audio without any interruptions through the outside of this vehicle. Overall, if you're looking for a luxury three-row SUV, but you're not looking to spend more than $50,000, I would definitely recommend checking out the 2024 Subaru Ascent Touring. Maybe not necessarily a Touring. I'm sure the Limited will have more than enough luxury and features for most. But if you want the top of the line, all the bells and whistles, I would definitely recommend checking out the Touring. It is a super luxurious interior. It drives well, super smooth power delivery. And with a base price under 50,000 bucks, you get a lot for your money. If that's what you're looking for, guys, I would definitely recommend checking out the 2024 Subaru Ascent. And huge thanks to Mike and the rest of the management and staff here at Subaru of Port Richey for helping make this review possible. If you're looking for a new car or SUV in the Port Richey area, I would definitely recommend checking these guys out, and ask for Mike. And huge thanks to all of you guys for watching. I had a great time making this video. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you're already subscribed, thank you so much. You guys know the channel is just not possible without you, and I really appreciate the constant support. But again, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Leave a like too. It really helps me out, the YouTube algorithm. That's how these videos get promoted to new people. Leave a comment. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you don't like. Leave a comment. Let me know if there's any specific cars, SUVs, or trucks you want to see reviewed on this channel, and I'll definitely try getting those videos for you ASAP. But other than that, again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope all of you have a great day.